8. Bow. I stand and watch her go, though I would rather be by her side. I like the feel of her hand looped through my arm, the rich tone of her voice when she speaks. Her voice is like music from a faraway city, unfamiliar, but seductive in its strangeness. Isra is nothing like I imagined she'd be from listening to my Bubba's stories of the temperamental princess hidden away in the tower. She's nothing like any other girl I've met. She is strange and stubborn and graceless, rough in speech and rougher of skin, and strangely resistant to my attempts to win her affection. I should find her frustrating. I should pity her. Most everyone else does. The gentle members of court feel sorry for the Mad Queen's blind, itchy, awkward daughter, and even sorrier for me. My bed has been warmer than usual these past 2 months. It seems there are always a sympathetic woman, or two, lingering outside the door of my chamber when I quit the great hall for the night. There's been no official announcement, but every member of court knows it's only a matter of time. As soon as Isra's mourning is over, she will take a husband. A childless queen cannot be allowed to remain unmarried. If something were to happen to Isra now, with no daughter to take her place, and no husband to remarry and continue the royal line, the covenant would be broken. Yuan would have no royal blood to sustain the magic that keeps our land green and fruitful, and our city would fall like so many others. Isra will marry, and soon, and there is little doubt who the man will be. Genji is the most powerful man in the city, and I am his son. It is only right that I should be king. It is understood that Isra will take me as her husband, and I will put aside any distaste I might feel for her peeling skin in odd ways, in the name of service to my city. No one suspects that the distaste I feel isn't for the girl. As Isra disappears over the gentle swell of the hill, with her guards close behind, a familiar tightness clutches at my throat. I set off towards my father's quarters, with a heavy feeling in my legs. How have other kings done it? How have they lived with a woman, even loved her? I've read the poems the fourth king wrote of his wife, and have sung the ballads of King Deshi composed in praise of his queen, knowing that her life would be cut short, that her throat would be open and her blood spilled in the royal garden, often before she reached her 30th birthday. Isra's mother died 13 years ago. The roses can go unfed for another 10 years, maybe 15, but no more. They will have their royal blood. Isra will never see her 35th year. If the crops begin to fail, or other evidence is found that the covenant is weakening, she may not see her 25th. She has so little time. It isn't right that she should live it in darkness. I don't care what my Baba said. I don't care what the king made him promise before he died. I will not see my queen suffer any more than she must by virtue of her birth. I will see her eyes light up with wonder. I will see her smile as she looks at me and knows I am the one who restored her. I will taste her gratitude in her kiss on our wedding night. It won't be long, only 2 months until her mourning is over. We will be married when the spring flowers poke their green shoots above the earth, long before her garden can bear fruit. I will put a stop to her playing in the dirt as soon as she is my wife. It isn't safe for the queen to spend time with a monstrous. The nobles already worry that she's out of her mind to allow the beast out of his cage, let alone work closely with it. The creature has behaved himself, thus far, but I see the way he watches Isra, taking in every movement of her hands, every flutter of her throat. He's a predator waiting for a moment to strike. He will not have it. I will have my queen, and the monster will be returned to his cage. A proper cage, not the tidy quarters in the barrack that Isra has given to him, but a hole deep underground, with stone floors and thick bars, a place suitable for a beast. Isra seems to have a soft place in her heart for the creature, but she will soon forget him enough. She will be distracted by my gift, then overwhelmed by my attention, and then, someday soon, big with my child. A baby will be far more fitting outlet for her feminine affections than a monstrous pet. She would know better than to treat beasts as human if she'd spent more time among civilized people. When we're married, we will not move her into her father's great house near the other high-ranking members of court. We will attend dances and feasts, and spend long weekends watching the horse and stick matches on the King's Green. And when the time comes for her to go, for our children, if they are daughters, to go, or for my second wife and our daughters to go. Beau, I have news from your father. The boy soldier running down the path towards me is out of breath and sweating like it's the dead of summer. He's a chubby, new recruit, no more than 15 or 16, too young to shave, too green to know better than to call a superior by his first name, even if that superior is only a few years older. Under normal circumstances, I would discipline him, but I'm too grateful for the interruption. I don't want to think of the future. I can't, or I won't enjoy a moment of being king. What news? I ask, settling for a stern look down my nose rather than an official reprimand. There's trouble, he pants. Captain Fay thinks he's found a crack in the dome. A crack in the dome. The Covenant keeps Yuan's shelter strong. If the dome has a crack, it could be seen as a sign that the time for Queen's sacrifice grows near. Show me, I order, through a tight jaw. Now, run. I'll follow. I set off after the boy, sprinting hard across the green and up the path to the hill gate, past fields of stiff corn stalks browning in the winter chill. I run and try not to think about losing her before she's even mine. Jen. Night falls early in winter. Sometimes I light my lamp right after dinner and practice reading or writing with the paper and charcoal Isra gave me. I'm trusted with flint to light the lamp and can ask for extra oil if it burns out. But most nights I choose darkness and moonlit view out my window. I stand and watch the roses. They are the only flowers still blooming as obscenely red as they were in autumn when I was captured. When I first moved to my new quarters, I would watch the path through the garden late into the night, expecting to catch a glimpse of Isra, hoping to learn more of the rose's secrets. But after the evening when I told her the story of the girl and the star, she never came again. Her absence is disappointing, like so many things about Yuan's ruler. Now, as I do what exercises I can in my small sitting room, I watch the garden path for soldiers. I memorize the timing of their patrols. I find the weaknesses in their guard. I store away everything I learn and pray to the ancestors that I get the chance to use the information. Taking possession of a rose bush is essential, but getting it to my people is what matters most. Not if you can work the magic. If you can't, the roses will be no good to anyone, and you will have failed the desert people all over again. I grit my teeth and bend my knees more deeply, squatting up and down with the heaviest of my new books balanced on either shoulder, building the strength in my legs, though the muscles still tremble in protest. I'll learn the magic. I'll get the truth from Isra. She already tells me more than she knows, more than she could ever tell an enemy. I tell her that nothing matters. I tell her stories to earn her sympathy and lower her guard. I labor hard beside her and keep my temper in check, slowly winning her trust. I tease her into thinking we are friends. I play the damaged weakling, sighing and groaning and stumbling through my work in the field, even though I'm getting stronger every day. By spring, I will be completely healed. If she lets me out to gather the bulbs in a week or two and I return, she will let me out again to gather herb shoots in the spring. That is when I will return to my people. I will bring them the roses and hope and life, and I will see my son. I have to believe he's still alive. Our chief knew these months would be hard. She will have had the women dry the cactus fruit harvest, so it can be rationed through the winter. The men will find small game in the burrows beneath the sand. The women will boil poison root until the poison is gone and only the mealy meat remains. The desert people will live to see the spring, and I will bring them hope and magic. With a soft grunt, I shift the books from my shoulders to the floor, stacking one on top of the other. I stand on top of them, dipping my heels down and up, building the strength in my lower legs, the running muscles. I will have to be fast. By the time I escape, every moment will be precious. Every moment is precious now, but there's nothing I can do. Not yet. The best use of my time is to spend it getting stronger and gaining the further trust of the queen. I should have kept my mouth closed today. I don't owe Isra the truth, and Smoothskin's outcasts are nothing to me. Let them suffer. They have food and safety, two things my people would give a year of their lives for, and their queen cares for them, in her way. Enough to worry about whether they are soft and pleasing to the eye. Puh! Her obsession with smooth-skin beauty is disgusting. All this from a girl who can't even see. She's planting a garden of dreams to cure an imaginary disease she'll never bear witness to, when with a word she could abolish the outcast camp and end the custom that displeases her. Queen of fools, I mutter. It's days like these that remind me why I hate her. I'm grateful for every one of them. I can't afford to forget. I can't afford to enjoy the way she sighs with happiness when I finish a story. I can't afford to admire how hard she works. I can't let myself grow comfortable on the dirt beside her as we share bread and apples from the basket she brings. I can never take her muddy hand in mine and promise her that the winter will end and the pain and loss she feels will fade the way mine did after my mother's death. I can certainly never tell her that she is out of her mind and that all the rest of her people with her, if they don't see the beauty in her green, green eyes, in her big smile enough to light a room, in the way she walks like she's dancing with the ground beneath her feet, every step careful and graceful, and "Fool," I whisper as I step off the books and move closer to the window. I grit my teeth and direct my gaze towards the roses, reminding myself why I'm here, just in time to see a woman creep from the shadows in the orchard. I can't see her face or what she's wearing in the dim moonlight, but I immediately know who she is. Isra. I recognize her walk, the way her hips sway beneath her clothes, the careful reach of her toes as she moves beneath unseen terrain. I know her. I do, even in the dark. The knock on the door is soft, but it still makes me jump. I feel like I've been caught doing something worse than staring out my window. Maybe I have. I can imagine that Gare would say about me knowing a smooth-skinned girl so well. The knock comes again. I turn slowly to face the door. My evening meal came hours ago. There shouldn't be anyone near my room until morning. The Smoothskins have great trust in their locks and keys. The only time I'm guarded is when the soldiers escort me to the Queen's garden. So who is here now? The flap at the bottom of the door swings open, and a small package slides along the floor. I tense on instinct, my claws shuddering in their beds. I approach the bundle carefully, keeping an eye on the still swinging flap of the wood through which my meals are shoved. This is the first time something else has come through. I squat beside the package and unfold the linen holding it together. Inside is a piece of paper with simple words written in an even hand, and a thick coil of rope with a large hook on one end. I begin to sound out the words on the paper, but haven't gotten past "gem, I need," before the sound of a key turning in the lock makes my head snap up and my claws extend. I lift my arms as the door swings open to reveal Needle, Isra's maid, standing on the other side. Her large brown eyes get even bigger when she sees my claws, but she doesn't scream or turn to run. She only blinks and swallows and points a thin finger to the package. Having my claws out begins to feel strange. Ridiculous. That's the word Isra uses for the hated dresses she's forced to wear to the smoothskin eating rooms and the endless smoothskin banquets. In some ways, Isra is a stranger here too. I know that. I know that's why Bo treats her like an invalid, and her advisors treat her like a child. Still, I didn't expect this note. There are some words I can't work through, but I understand enough to decipher its meaning. I finish, and I am shaken. If anyone finds out what she's done, she will be locked away in that tower of hers. Not even a queen can go against her city's wishes like this and not be punished. At least, not a queen like Isra, a blind, broken queen without the love of her subjects or the trust of her council. I have to stop her, and if I can't stop her, I will have to help her. I may hate her, but I need her. She's the only reason I'm allowed out of this room, my only chance to steal a future for my people. I hand the paper to Needle, who wastes no time tearing it to pieces. She's loyal to Isra, then. That's something. Maybe not enough to keep the soldiers from discovering mine and Isra's absence, but something. I take the rope with the hook and begin to move past her, but she stops me with a hand on my arm. I look down and down and down at her. She is 1/2 a meter shorter than Isra, and more fragile in every way, but the stubborn glint in her eyes reminds me of the queen. Her lips move without a sound. I watch her, and after a moment, I think I understand her silent plea. Keep her safe. Please, keep her safe. Maybe Isra does have the love of at least one person. I would never hurt her, I assure Needle in a hushed voice. She stares at me for a long moment before stepping back and pointing to the end of the corridor, where a window large enough for a desert man to crawl through opens out into a royal garden. The guards passed down the path outside the barracks only a few moments ago. I should have just enough time to reach Isra, talk her out of leaving the city, and get back to my cell undiscovered. I don't waste my breath telling Needle more lies. I turn and run.